me the white. Bring me the white. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. Do that again. Do that again. Go again, yeah.
Hey guys, it's Koo. Thanks for tuning in. And today I have with me director Ronald Reid.
That's right, in the flesh, one of the greatest directors. You know, I am going to be the greatest director of my time. That is my goal. Already, I'm putting it out there.
Okay, so Ronald, how old are you?
Okay, I am 25. I am 25, pretty old. I've hit my midlife crisis at 17, so for me, in my world, 25 is kind of old.
You've got a lot going on, obviously.
I do.
So, Ronald, tell us about your directing history. Like, when did you start?
In high school, I went to Cicely Tyson in East Orange, New Jersey.
Woo!
Yeah, go EO, Ill-Town, right? And, you know, pretty much, you know, went there at the new building that they built. Mr. Wolf was my professor, and I actually started doing broadcast. You know, stability. I always knew going into that, or you know, there was no stability in that field. It was kind of gig to gig, and you know, I come from a low middle income family housing home. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I hated the way people edited my stuff. I hated the way people shot my content. So in high school, I said, you know what? I'm just going to end up shooting my own stuff and just doing it all myself.
Control freak.
Exactly. Yeah. So I said, you know, I'm just going to wear all the hats because no one can do it right. And, you know, obviously, what better way to do it yourself if no one else can do it? Right. And within doing that and starting to edit, because I was never a good editor either, I was just this kid with a camera. And then, boom, you know, I get invited to this music video set that's already going on. You know, he's like, how much do you charge? I knew nothing about pricing. I was just talking the talk. I knew nothing. Mm-hmm. At that moment in high school, I was in 12th grade. That's when I fell in love with filmmaking and wanted to become a music video director. Seeing the behind the scenes, seeing how the process went as far as making a music video, for me, that changed my life. That was the switch that went off in my head. That was the light bulb. I remember I remember blowing up Rock Davis's phone a lot, actually, and saying, like, hey, look, I'll intern for you. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
Did he answer?
Kind of, sort of, you know. Okay. That was the discouraging part because, like I said, that man changed my life once I seen, like, what he was doing with that camera. That literally, like, changed my life. He was like, I remember him handling the lighting, switching the lenses out, and just coming up with all these dope ideas for setups. And for me, I just thought that was so cool to see it happen and look at the final product in camera. Yeah. And at the time, I remember he wouldn't even edit the video. It was just in camera, just looked so dope. So for me to see that, I was like, you know what, I want to do this. This is cool. I want to learn from him because like, he inspired me so much, you know? Yeah. It's like when you look up to your idol. Imagine if you're a singer and you meet Beyonce, and Beyonce says, you can come to the studio anytime and watch me sing. And you're constantly blowing Beyonce's phone up because you're like, look, it's Beyonce, like, come on, right? Yeah. So for me, it was just like, look, it's rock. Like, I gotta learn from this guy. Like, whatever I gotta do to be around him, I'm gonna do it. But like I said, it just didn't happen. And for me, I saved up, you know, my summertime job money, right? And I just bought my first camera. It was a Canon 60D DSLR camera, and I pretty much just did what I could with it. Started shooting, and even before buying the camera, I remember watching music videos, studying just to see why they're putting the lights where they're putting them, just to learn every little thing I could. So for me, again, once I had my camera, I was ahead of the game, kind of. I would have had my whole plan was I was going to get my camera, I know what I needed to do, and I could just go out and shoot, you know?
What was your college major?
My college major was radio and TV and film. So early on, like when I started filming, I was like, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. This is the quality I want to do it at. For me, it was always about quality, not quantity. So I said, you know what, I met this kid, Des, and the first video I charged him for. The second video, I said, you know what, man?
Surprised that you and Dez's relationship actually started off in a professional way. You would think you guys were friends, like childhood friends.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it didn't. It seems like that. Everyone thinks we're brothers and stuff. It didn't really end up that way. It was just really an organic thing. I just said, hey, I think your stuff is dope. He thought I was dope, and we literally built a style together. I feel like, you know, we tried different ideas, and you know, we did as much as we could with nothing, you know, and we still even do that today. You know, one of our most successful videos is this video called Falling Up. And if people are listening, whoever's listening, you can check that out on YouTube.
Falling Up?
Des High Def Falling Up. We did that about 4 years ago. which is crazy because the video still lives today and it's still original today. You know, and that's just one of those special videos, and to me, I think it's one of my best pieces of work as a music video owner that I've done, because it, at the time that we released it, no one was doing it. The way I shot it, the aesthetics of the video, it was around the time when you know, Kanye was just now coming out with the whole Yeezus thing, the whole that whole dark vibe was coming out, you know, the weekend. Yeah, it was around that time, so it was a perfect timing for it as well. But I think on an independent level, the way we did it and executed it, it was very, it caught a lot of attention, and it opened up a lot of doors for me, you know. It allowed me to get great jobs. Ended up doing, like, you know, commercials for like clothing brands. I ended up getting a ton of opportunities just from that one video. I think what makes it signature, I like to show maybe the side of the thigh. It's little things like that. Like maybe I might show, and if I do show it, it might be disguised in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might be covered in a way where it's like you see the shape, but you never really see it. You know? So I like to tease my audience. Is what I'm getting at. And I try to stay away from. And if I do, and I have nothing against girls that are curvy. I like, you know, I have nothing against it. I think it's beautiful. I think they're beautiful. But for my art, I think it's very important that I go for a certain type, is all I'm trying to say, you know, because it's almost like when a painter paints, they might not use the biggest brush, they might not use the smallest brush, they go for a specific brush for a specific look, right? And so I guess what I'm saying is that I guess models are my brush. I don't know. I don't want to make that sound bad, but I'm going for a specific tool or a specific look that I think is gonna help the video or help the overall look of it. You know what I mean?
When you said The Girl Next Door, I always think of Mila Kunis. You know who Mila Kunis is?
Yes, I do. Exactly.
I love her.
Right. Exactly.
I really love her.
That's exactly who I mean. Or like you know, there's a model called Alexis Renner. She also has a very natural, you know, look to her. Or I like who do I like? I like Megan Good is she has a good look.
She's pretty.
Yeah, she's pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like she's another model that, you know, I would, if she was being a model in one of my videos, I wouldn't put her in, you know, skimpy lingerie. I wouldn't do it. You know, it would just be very subtle things that would make her, you know, come off that like
graceful.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So you know, and like I said, I just don't have anything against it. It's just not my style. Like, I like to have a perfect balance. You know what I mean? And sometimes, you know, when you overdo it with certain girls that already have a curvy body, you know, it's just like, we already know you have a great body. You know, we don't have to emphasize it even more. It's like we see it. You know what I mean? So sometimes putting those girls in the most skimpy outfits or like, you know, the most revealing outfits is kind of like
extra.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's like, all right, we get it, and here's even more. It's just like, you know, like I said, for me as a guy, I like it. I'm cool, you know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of girls or models that are modeling deserve that elegance of, like, mystique, you know? And I feel like as a guy, that's a more of a turn on anyway. It's like, for example, I like the mystique of a woman. Like, you know, what is she like? You know, the process. So, in a sense, if you are getting the budget from the artist now, then obviously you would use that money. Hopefully you can pay yourself with it, and then you can get all the resources that you need to shoot this video and make it amazing. So that's the two ways that you would ideally do it. You know, the client that needs the video because they know about your service, me as a music video director, they would say, hey, look, I have this budget, or I want you to come up with an idea for this song. You would simply come up with the idea, and feel free to pull inspiration from different videos, you know, or a movie that you've seen, or a song, or a poster, anywhere, you know. You pull inspiration from anywhere, and then you pretty much present the idea, and you want to obviously make sense where the artist can see it, and then, you know, from there, like I said, hopefully they have the budget to really realistically pull it off, or whether it's a management or the record label, whoever you're talking to, they have the budget that they can give to you, and they trust you with that, so you can go ahead and get the resources, because you need to pay for the models, you know, you need to pay for the cars, the location, if it comes to that, or if you have favors, you call up those favors and say, hey, can I use that spot to shoot, you know, this video here, you know, you want to utilize your resources. There's no wrong way to get what you need to get for a video. It's about getting it and getting it done. That's it. So if you need to call in a favor, call in that favor. I've even done certain favors where I'll offer a music artist, look, I'll shoot you a free music video if you let me use your car for another person's music video. Boom.
Really?
I got the car, right. You know what I mean? It's a trading goods and services. You see what I mean? There's always a way to pay for something. There's always a way to gain something. I guess I'm trying to say is you just need to figure out what someone's price is. You know, what is it that they want? What can you give to them to benefit them? And sometimes I might not have the money in the budget to get certain things, you know what I mean? Yeah. At the end of the day, obviously, you still want to feed yourself. Sometimes I don't care about feeding myself. Sometimes it's about the art. And, I mean, it is always about the art, but sometimes it's like, you know what? Let me see what I can work out and get this going. So, you know, you just do what you got to do, you know? So.
What would you say? I know you love Dez's Falling Up video. Right. That was a big one for you. Mm-hmm. What would you say was your most fun video to shoot? Most enjoyable video to shoot?
Okay. My most enjoyable video has to be I did a video for this artist called My Classic, Wusa.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You were actually worked on, helped me out with that one.
Yeah. In the arcade.
Right. It's an opportunity to really showcase what I can do and say, hey, look, this is something I'm really good at. Mm-hmm. I think you should give me an opportunity to do something with one of your artists under Bad Boy.
Okay.
And that's what I'm telling you.
So you feel like you have to be a little more pushy.
Yeah, I think I should have been a little more pushy being around Puff. I mean, that's an opportunity that, like, not a lot of people can say I'm around one of the biggest, you know, hip hop moguls in the world. Yeah. You know what I mean? Almost a billionaire. I worked for this guy. I was at his office, you know, day after day. In his face, literally in his meetings when he's doing things for Ciroc, I'm there. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, so I think it's just one of those things where I feel like you definitely have to be pushy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you know what I'm saying? You definitely got to be pushy. That's really big.
All right. Well, thank you, Ronald, for interviewing with me. It's 3:33.
Kicking me out? All right, I gotta go. I can keep going for days.
You'll be back, I'm pretty sure.
I plan on coming back. I really thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And thank you, Dez, who's helping us in the background.
Yeah, Dez. Shout out to Dez. He's doing some BTS.
He'll be here as well, doing his own segment because he's a great artist. So.
Yeah. Dez is an amazing artist. I recommend everyone to look out for him. And I want to say this before we go. Mm-hmm. One day this guy's going to be big, and I just want to make sure that this recording of me saying this gets out, because for every manager, for every producer that I've brought like this, I brought this artist up to, literally walked the guy Dez in, and for them to say he's dope, love the work, love the music, and fail on doing something creative and making great work and seeing his potential, it's going to be a type of karma that they're going to say, damn, I wish I really would have gave this guy opportunity, because there are a bunch of artists that I work with, and not a single artist I've ever come across is worthy to get free services from me. I give this guy free work all the time.
Y'all feel the bromance going on?
You know what I mean?
You feel it?
I hope everybody really understands that, and that says a lot. Understand that I work with a lot of artists. I got artists that hit me up all the time on Instagram, and not a single one. And not to discredit these artists either. These are great artists too. Mm-hmm. But the ideas and the way this guy does things, the things that he wants to do, no one has done it. No one's thinking that way. Everyone, I feel like, kind of wants to play it safe, or their music is kind of safe, or, you know, they don't have the self-initiative. You know how many managers I've met that's even complained about their own artists, and I know we got to go. We're going to wrap up here. But I
just don't want them to kick me out. I don't mind.
It just says a lot about an artist that is they know how to do things from themselves.
Self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient, right. They don't need to run to their manager. Hey, manager, can I get some money, please, so I can do this? Hey, manager, do you think I should do this with my look? Hey, manager, my image, what should I do? How should I dress? Here you have an artist managers out there in the world that is going to literally take off all this weight off your shoulders, because he doesn't need your advice for anything. He doesn't need your advice for creativity. He doesn't need your advice for how he needs to dress, how he needs to look, aesthetic-wise, ideas. he just needs guidance, and he just needs someone that's going to handle the logistics and the business side of things. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, a lot of artists, managers, or a lot of managers that I've brought to the table, you know, to pitch him to, have failed to see that. But they're very quick to ask me to apply creatively what I've done with Dez to their artists.
Oh, see.
Very quick for that, which is very odd. When, if this is what you want, you have the spitting image of what you want right here. Why don't you just take the artist on?